Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for Terry to join us. Good guest, Terry. Always divides opinion. Controversial, shall we say. Gets a bit of hammering comments, but he takes it on chin. As you've got to do, you've got to have a thick skin doing this, haven't you? Aye. Not as thick as Johnny Fisher's skin, eh? Bouncing about. How many more bin men is he going to fight now, Johnny Fisher? Well, we're going to back him though, because we like comics, don't we? We like comedy, so I like a bit of that. So I'm just waiting for Terry. He should be here in a second. Come on. So, interesting. Terence Crawford. He's unbeatable, isn't he, at the moment, Crawford? He's like Usyk, isn't he? And I know you, and better be. And people are at top of their games, aren't they? Absolute top of their games. Here's Terry. I'm just saying, better be than Usyk, Crawford, Bam Bam Rodriguez. You throw him in that mix. Terence Crawford. They're all at top of the game, them guys, aren't they, Terry?
Mate, this is when people say boxing's not what it used to be in boxing. I point to guys like that and go, boxing will always have tough guys that want to have it, and I love that about the sport. And those guys are guys who you imagine don't say no to fights, and we need more of that. We should reward people who don't say no to fights, and we don't. We like a lot of stuff in boxing, Russ, and this is what annoys me. It's 1 second, hold on. Sorry, I just had my mum calling, so I just had to send that to voicemail. Yeah, a lot of fans get really tribal about their boxers, right? They get super tribal and they talk about, I love this guy. I call it girlfriend behavior. It's like real girlfriend behavior, like submissive men who just fall in love with their guy. Like that Fury Power thing was a good example of that. Really weird behavior for grown men to have. So they just love their guy regardless. Whereas I wish
that WhatsApp group.
Yeah, but I wish guys just rewarded the boxers who said, I'll fight anyone anytime, and stay true to that.
Yeah, that were a bit demented, that group, wasn't it? We Stig and all, and that Chris were at that roof. Fury Power! They were demented, weren't they?
Oh, mate, it was weird. It was like a cult. It was quite funny, but it was cultish.
Cultish?
Yeah.
It was scary! Grown man. Stig, we're only having banter here, but you're a grown man. You lost your mind. Running around saying Fury were greatest of all time. All that nonsense. They bought into it, didn't they? Like Atman goes on about now. He calls it the Fury mythology, doesn't he, Atman?
Yeah, but it was it looked like a bunch of middle-aged men looking for a hero. And they thought Tyson Fury was that hero,
Is that what it were, Terry? Terry, is that what it were?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Honestly, grown men like that wanting a hero.
Remember when you were at school, Russ, and you were young, and you looked up to like the sixth formers or the year 11s or whatever?
Yeah.
This is just grown men doing that.
Now, when I was about 13, I used to look up to them who were 19 and they were revving Mark III Cortinas outside school. I always had my head stuck in the car because I thought they were cool, them bloke. Them sniffing glue. I always used to think that they were my role models. You know what I mean? They were my role models, so I didn't have a good start, mate. It's why I'm like I fucking am, innit, I guess.
Yeah, but those guys are doing that in middle age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can see it. You could see it in that group because people were sending me screenshots and I said, the freaks, the freaks, keep them away from me. They are freaks. Do you know one thing I learned from reading them WhatsApp screenshots from that Fury Power group?
They need to hand over their laptops.
Yeah, no, one thing I've learned in life, and one thing I am thankful of, is that we have places to put people like them, and they're called nut houses, and I'm thankful that we've got them. I'm thankful for them nut houses, because you know what? There's some scary people out here.
It's odd to me. Their behavior is odd to me. Sometimes I think the local pub was a very important way to help men regulate their emotions. A lot of these guys probably don't go out as much as they'd like to, sit at home, and they get into this spiral of doom, worshipping grown men, which is odd. Like I said, which is odd to me.
Yeah, it's interesting though, isn't it, that one? The Conor Benn situation, Terry.
You know what I told you? He won't box in the UK till March next year. That's pretty much it.
We think, yeah.
Everything else is just window dressing.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? Do you think they're going to allow him back?
At some point, yeah. There's too much money at stake for him not to. But his career has to be seen to be derailed, right? And then he'll come back and he'll do the whole Muhammad Ali thing, Look at it. I spent 3 years fighting the system. Now I'm back.
Yeah. Personally, I think he should just be banned, but he's already fought, hasn't it? They've just done what they wanted, haven't they, basically? They've used every loophole. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth, all this with this Conor Benn thing, honestly.
But he can't box in Saudi.
Why can't he box in Saudi?
Because Frank's in charge of those shows, right? And Frank is doing everything under the board. And so the board won't let him on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Terry Harper, what weight is she fighting at now? She's fighting at, because she's been 129 and a half on it, yeah? And then she got done by Boomgar, and then she's 154, then 147, now 135, is it?
Be interesting to see how she does the weight cut, because normally people struggle when they come back down in weight.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think she's got many miles left? Because Eddie's saying, it's a crossroads fight and all that, but she's only 27. She could fight for another 15 years, couldn't she?
But if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. So we'll find out in this fight whether she's good enough or not.
Sandy Ryan didn't mess about with her, did she?
There you go.
She put hands on her, didn't she?
She let rip. She gave her the full Porky treatment. Hey?
She did let rip, didn't she?
And good on her. No, good on her. I think in boxing, you should let people know that there's weight classes for a reason. I think Sandy Ryan did that because Sandy is solid at that weight.
Yeah.
That's like super solid at that weight.
Yeah, what do you think to Jaron Ennis, David Avanesyan for IBF World Welterweight title Saturday?
For a standing opponent, I think Avanesyan's a good standing opponent. Like
very good.
He's game. He's game as you like. So he'll be competitive as long as the fight goes. But there are levels to this for a reason, mate. And Ennis is just a level above.
Fair play to Carl Greaves and Neil Marsh and Avanesyan, because they've been treated shit by fucking establishment, haven't they? With that Conor Benn carry on and whatnot, haven't they?
Oh, in terms of Conor not fighting Avanesyan, yeah.
Well, they jumped through all hoops, didn't they? And they still didn't get it, did they?
They were never going to. He's too dangerous.
He'd have beat Conor Benn him then.
Yeah, it's not so much he would have beaten him, Russ. He would have taken all the money out of Conor Benn.
Yeah.
There'd have been no money. Like, when you're looking, you're like, where does he go next? After the beating Avanesyan might have given him at that time, there'd have been nowhere to go.
Yeah. It's what do you think to Jake Paul against Mike Perry, Terry?
That's a good fun fight. It's not a serious fight, but it's a bit of fun. Why not?
You know
See,
what?
do you know what it is, Russ? I'll be quick about this. I can sit at home on a Sunday and watch Soccer Aid, and it doesn't affect my attitude to the Premier League. I don't know why people can't just watch Jake Paul have a bit of a move around with Mike Perry, understanding that it doesn't affect how they feel about guys like Usyk and Joshua.
Mm. Yeah. You know what? I tell beat Terry, right? Give me your proper, honest opinion on him. Is he a freak? Have you seen his training regimes? Is he just one of them naturally fucking gifted guys? Because he's a freak. He looks freakish, doesn't he?
I think he just works harder than everyone.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I think he's a grafter. I think he's a guy who, if he's got to train at 7:30 every morning, he'll train at 7:30 every morning.
Yeah.
You know, there's those sorts of guys, Russ. They'll train through niggles. They'll fight through niggles. It's just character. He has character and he has consistency, and they will always win.
Reminds me of Frotch with training, you know, where they're wringing the vest out, wringing it out. They train that hard. And they can't get anything out of their bodies. You know what I mean? Just putting themselves through it.
They got similar attitudes. That would have been a good fight.
Yeah.
Froch versus Beterbiev at 175 or something. That would have been a good fight.
Yeah. So you could out tough each other.
Yeah, be a hell of a fight.
Yeah. Well, Groves gave him a hell of a fight, didn't he? That's his worst beating. The first Groves fight.
No, the Ward beating was worse.
No, not according to Carl.
What would Carl know anyway?
I know, yeah. What would he know? What would he know anyway? But I was saying, B2B, everybody he's fought, he's knocked them all out, hasn't he? Every single person.
Russ, he's merciless. And I love that. I wish there were more boxers like that. You know, guys who just grind you down and break your spirit.
Yeah. What do you think to Jack Catterall and Reggae Progress, August 24th? Do you reckon it's any good, Terry?
Nope. Pointless. Don't care about either one of those guys. Won't enjoy the fight. Hearn's just looking for ways to get money out of Catterall before he then goes, don't want to deal with this guy anymore.
You reckon?
What they're really trying to do is tide him over to get Jack Catterall in a position to fight Devin Haney and it'd be credible. Like, if Catterall beats Prograis, Hearn will just call out every name going. But the realistic option is him fighting Devin Haney. But I don't see Haney wanting to take that fight because Catterall is. I can't respect people who are Catterall fans. I just can't respect them because I'm like, what are you enjoying about his boxing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's Catterall for me, I don't know, I think he's a bit dull, his style, like. It's a nice enough kid, like, isn't he? But
Yeah.
he excites me, Terry, you know.
Yeah, you can be a nice kid and I can acknowledge you as a nice kid, but there comes a point when you've got to just entertain in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like Gervonta Davis, you want to watch him, don't you? You're on edge of your seat, 28 knockouts out of 30 fights, undefeated. You know, you're on edge of your seat. He's an headliner, isn't he? He's a superstar, isn't he?
That's what you want, Russ. As fans, we will pay money for that. Yeah, it annoys me, right? When people win a fight and they go, "Look, I wasn't trying to take any risks in there. Just get in, get the win, get out." And there are people who have paid 200-300 quid for those tickets. Like, if you had said that before the fight, who would have shown up for that? No one.
Yeah.
So that stuff annoys me. That's the thing for me in terms of boxing. I just want people who want to have it. Like, if you don't want to have it, cool, I can respect that too. But what we're not going to do is con the fans and go, you guys are going to be entertained. I'm looking for knockout of the year. And then what happens, Russ? You get to that fight and guys are just punching and running and you're like, this isn't good.
Yeah. I know. Who's the top five, Terry? Pound for pound.
Porky Russ, Michael the Emperor, Charlie Parsons, Coogan, and Gunman Boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they're the guys right now who
Terry,
are
don't
doing.
give up. Don't give up your day job, Terry. You're not a comedian.
I'll always be a comedian to you, Russ.
If when I was Rico doing Rico, co.
He's all right. Like still out of love with boxing.
Is
You
it?
know. Yeah. Like I think a lot of fans are just out of love with boxing now, aren't
We
they?
love Rico, don't we?
Yeah, of course.
We love Rico. We hope he's all right. Yeah, you can look at Julian, same, he's, he's gone other way with boxing. People just had enough, haven't they?
But we try to warn people, try to say, look, you can't keep taking the fans for granted. And the thing is, when those sorts of fans leave the sport, the casuals do, because then the casuals have no one to talk boxing with.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, like Russ, if you stop talking, like, let's say you lose interest in boxing.
Yeah.
Loads of people that would come to you to talk boxing, like, well, if I can't talk to Russ about it, who am I going to talk to about it? And I may as well not watch it.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, yeah.
Yeah, boxing's in a it's on the edge, but it's not the only sport that's on the edge. I think football's in trouble as well, Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you think about the time you've watched football, what was the last really good era for football? Because for me, it was that period from about 2002 to about 2006, because
Yeah.
you still had R9 Ronaldo, you still had R10 Ronaldinho, you still had Zidane, you had guys like Cannavaro, you had guys like Nedved, Andrea Pirlo, guys that could really ball us, real artists of the game. You had all of those guys, and they're regularly against each other. Kaká was in there as well. Adriano for Inter Milan was there. Francesco Totti. You had these real artists. And look at what we've got now. We've just got these guys who are system players, because all the data and the scientists and all of these guys have got involved. But no one wants to see that. Like, you're watching the Euros now, and it's not fun. It's just not enjoyable. And I think all sports are going through this, where we're all going to have to move away from this kind of overly scientific approach and, no risk at all costs and all this sort of boring stuff. Or you're just going to lose a generation of fans.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think we're close to that.
What do you think to ticket prices for Joshua Dubois?
Mate, I stopped second guessing what the public will do a long time ago. Anytime I think that people can't be any more stupid, they prove me wrong. So if people want to spend stupid money on those tickets and sit it all the way up there where you can't really see them fight, whatever, man. Post yourself on social media, have a good time. I'm not even here to judge anymore. As long as you're happy, do what makes you happy. I haven't got time for it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's madness. So who's your top five then, pound for pound?
Mate, I couldn't even tell you because I don't know anymore. I honestly, I don't know anymore, because I wouldn't even know how to justify it. I could just tell you the people I'd stop everything to watch at the moment are Tank, Teofimo Lopez.
I
That
know.
might be it.
I know you.
Inoue, I know you. Yeah, Inoue maybe. Those three there. If you told me that they were fighting, I'd stop what I was doing to watch. Everyone else, I can catch up.
Yeah.
And it's sad, isn't it? Because there's once upon a time, Ross, we used to consume everything.
There's that much to choose from now, isn't there, though, online?
Yeah, it's just, and these promoters don't even, because they found another guy who was willing to blow money on boxing, they're not worried about anything. But at some point, this Turkey guy is going to have to spin away from boxing, and then who's going to fill that gap?
Yeah.
Hey?
Hey? Hey? Who's next big star then?
Ooh. That's a good question. Bam Rodriguez is too small. That's the problem. So you're always looking at a weight from welterweight upwards in terms of who the next big star is. And I can't even think off the top of my head who the next star would be. Maybe if Teofimo Lopez goes to 147, he might be that at a push.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean, Russ. Pickings are slim.
Do you think Aram knows the writings on the wall with boxing?
Yeah. Well, he's hoping that one of this crop that he signed up, like your Richard Torres's, Keyshawn Davis, Troy Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
He's hoping that lot can crack it. If they don't crack it, it's going to get messy for him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know. Do you know what? Boxing's so fractured. You know, it's the drug situation. It really gets me down, you know, because they're all at it, aren't they? Come on. They're all at it.
Yeah. But so they should be, man. Like, it's hard on the body. What we're asking these guys to do is hard on the body. You couldn't do it you couldn't do it with your kind of naturally given hormones and stuff. It's not possible.
There's a lot at it. There's a lot at it. Look, not enough getting caught. Them that are getting caught don't admit it anyway, do they?
Nah, because they just get lawyers and they go, right, let's do this. Apart from Liam Cameron, who did this 4 years.
Yeah. Got hammered, Liam, didn't he?
Yeah, they hit him with the 4, like they're trying to hit Pogba with the 4. Let's see what happens in the poor Pogba appeal.
It'll be 2 years, that Pogba's, won't it?
I don't know what his defense is, but France definitely needed him.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Do you know Joe Parker? Is he having an Indian summer, or is them 2 wins that they all keep going on about that he's recently had, are they a bit inflated, do you think?
No, I'll give him his due. And he's still young. Isn't he the same age as Huey, or there's like a year difference?
He's about 30, he's early 30s, isn't he, Parker? I'll make up his
Mate, he might only be 31.
I don't know. Well, he might only be, he's a young heavyweight. I think he might be 32. So, look, Joe Parker. Boxer. He ain't got much miles on clock, has he? Joe Parker. He is 32. So
yeah, he's young. Just young for a heavyweight.
Yeah.
I think he's only 2 years older than Solly Dakers.
Well, he's younger than It's Big Freeze. And It's Big Freeze needs to get him over on, doesn't he? But I think It's Big Freeze, there'll be a ticket seller. I think he's got a style that's fan friendly, don't you?
It depends on how many of those shots he can take, Russ. Like how many is the same problem you've got with Chisora. How many shots can these guys take before they start falling apart? Derek's just been lucky that he's literally hard as nails. But I do worry about these guys that are just taking these shots. Because can you imagine it's Fraze against Okolie?
Yeah.
How many of those shots is he going to take? Not many.
Yeah. Where do you see Lawrence going now? Lawrence Okolie, Terry. He's doing well now, isn't he?
I mean, he will go He'll go where he wants. I think he's got options now. I think you can see what Joe's doing with him, where Joe's just teaching him to do stuff that works and stop overthinking stuff in the ring and stop trying to be Pernell Whitaker and all that. Be you. You know, in the same way Emmanuel Stewart did with Vladimir Klitschko. He said, look, yeah, just use a limited number of shots, but use them well. And I think that's what you're going to see with Lawrence. He's just going to be really efficient at hurting people with 1-2s, breaking them down. And then when the time's right, he'll take them out.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see. You know Eddie's role now with this Saudi thing? Do you think he's playing second fiddle to Bricktop?
I think he's accepted the role for the greater good because he's now able to say to the zone, look at all the fights we're able to do, and you're not having to pay a penny for them, the zone. So he's done his job and he's done it well. Do you see that today, Porks? He was at the British Grand Prix with Ben Whitaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben's not going to be happy about that.
Why?
Because like he's a boxer guy, isn't he, Ben Whitaker? So Ben's not going to be happy because Hearn's going to tap him up at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Old Eddie Hills. He gets everywhere, doesn't he? Old Eduardo.
You love him, really.
You know what? He's done well, Anna. We have to give him his credit. He's a grafter, isn't he, Eddie?
Yeah. Nah, I say that to people. He took what Barry had, which was a pretty average operation. Matchroom under Barry Hearn wasn't amazing. And Hearn's kind of taken it to another level.
Yeah. What do you think to the Gad's role at the moment? Because people are saying he's more or less burnt a lot of bridges.
With who?
All sorts of people.
With who? Like, when I see him around, everything seems cordial. Now, I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying that's what I see. So I don't know who he'd have burnt bridges with.
Do you think he's a fan?
Pardon?
I think he's a fanboy.
Do you know what, Russ? You know, in the same way that Porky Russ is Porky. I mean, like, there's a space in the world for Porky Russ, and there's a space in the world for Russell, right? And they're not the same person at the same time sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with the Gad.
Yeah.
I think once the camera comes on, he
goes into Gad mode.
Yeah, and then when the camera's off, he's Gareth A. Davis, respected.
Yeah, he's a bit of a decent fella and all that.
Yeah, I saw him at the Alfie Warren show a couple of weeks ago. He was nice, man. Like, good chat, nice, polite, friendly. I think he for an older guy, he sussed out the game and he realized that there's no point in being on social media or in the media now if you're not a larger than life character.
Some of his writing, I read some of his articles. He's quite fucking good with words, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a respected journalist.
You know, he knows his shit, doesn't he, the Gad?
Yeah. You know, the problem sometimes, Russ, is we want people to fit our model of them. Like, we want to put them in a box, right? But we don't really know these people. And I think sometimes we need to look at ourselves and go, why are we judging someone negatively?
Yeah.
Because like, he's got a job to do, right? And a family to feed. We don't know who eats off his earnings. So if he's got to do that to feed his family, so be it. I'm just, good luck to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask you, Terry, right, these American go-to trainers, right, you know, like your Buddy McGirts and people like that, do you think they're going to be a thing of the past soon? Are they going to stick to British trainers?
There aren't many that are any good. So what do you do?
Yeah, but you think that people are improving going to Buddy McGirt?
I think with guys, it's always about why are you going? That's always my question to people. Why are you changing trainers? Changing trainers is very rarely the solution unless someone can't train you anymore. Then I understand it. But it's like this. How many people leave trainers and become better? It's hard to name someone, right?
Yeah, isn't it?
It's rare that it happens. And normally when they become better, it's because the new trainers just told them to do less, not to do more.
Well, I think that there's all these people going for these American trainers. I think it's an insult to British coaches, me, to be honest. I really
Good.
do.
No, good. If they were any good, the Americans would be coming here. So why aren't they coming here?
Well, maybe our coaches are doing something wrong, do you think?
Just, I think, how would I drill it down, Russ? We don't build on top of what's come before. So most trainers in this country are trainers because they could afford the rent. That's it, right? Mark Tibbs has a gym because he found people with money. I don't necessarily think he's the greatest trainer. He's not bad, but he's not the greatest trainer ever. But he has a gym because someone was able to put money behind it. He put some in and people put their own money in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's a trainer. Who have we got really who served an apprenticeship and then went and got their own gym?
Joe Gallagher.
Yeah, that's one guy, Joe. Caldwell.
Dominic Ingle. Oh, no, it
But
was,
Dom's kind of inherited the gym, but point taken.
yeah.
Caldwell.
Cowell got his own gym, hasn't
Yeah, but he came up under the Ingles. So I can get that. Richard Towers came up under the Ingles. And then you struggle. The Sanagars down in Bristol. Yep.
Chris Smedley.
Yeah. But you see how hard it is for us to find names of people we can say he served his apprenticeship and he's bubbling up nicely now.
Yeah.
Because you go and find a building and then you tell people you're a boxing trainer, and people in this country are dumb enough to go, well, yeah, I'm going to come and train with you. And that's what's happened. That's why we don't have good trainers. So everyone's just kind of learning from scratch. And so where do they go and learn? They go and learn on the internet. But the internet's a terrible place to learn about boxing because boxing is 99% feel, 1% knowledge.
Yeah.
Like you need that experience. You know, Russ, I say it till I'm blue in the face, right? Boxing is really about what doesn't work, not what does work. If you don't understand what doesn't work, I mean, you're going to burn through a lot of time and energy needlessly. But if you do know what doesn't work and why, you're all good. And that's what the smart trainers in this country have. That they can walk you through why stuff doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh?
There's good trainers where you're from, isn't there? That Eddie, or what's his second name?
Eddie Lamb.
Eddie Lamb, he's a good trainer, isn't he?
Okay, but think about Ed. You and Ed are about the same age, Russ, right? Ed's been coaching kids. He started off coaching amateurs down at Kettles. And then he joined Al Smith's gym. And think how long he was low profile. You would just see Ed being a good second, just there in the background doing his thing. Never rocked the boat, never wanted to be front and center, wasn't doing all the interviews, was just grafting in the background and learning off everyone. And now you see he's come through now and he's now a respected trainer. For me, that's how you do it. I don't see how you do it any other way, Russ.
Yeah. He's come through, hasn't he? He's come through ranks, hasn't he?
Yeah. And so most of the mistakes Eddie's made, he's probably made in the shadows, right? Because there was someone else who was head trainer. I'm not saying that to disrespect you. I'm just saying we all make mistakes. But if you look at Ben Davison makes mistakes. It's right there in the public eye. So that makes you naturally conservative because you're like, I don't want to make a mistake, but you have to make mistakes in order to learn.
Yeah, well, Ben Davidson's doing well, isn't he, at the moment, isn't he? Got a
Jim's thriving.
Hey?
Jim's thriving. His gym is thriving.
Him and Barry Smith from that other kid, is it Lee Wiley? Some they're doing really well, aren't they?
Yeah, doing well. And why? Because Ben understood the game. He understood that these British trainers were lazy. And so he just said, right, let's go. Let's find out who's who.
It's going to be Ben and Shane McGuigan who are going to be chasing to be the Joe Gallagher, aren't they, for next generation, isn't it?
No, I think Shane's a fair bit ahead. I think,
Yeah.
and I'll get a hard time for saying this, but it's true. A lot of the people that end up in Ben Davison's gym have been told to go there. And you can guess who told them to go there. I think with Shane, people go because he has a reputation in the sport. People that train with Shane speak highly of him. So then people go, I want to work with him too. He's a very, very good trainer, meticulous. Like anything that he can fix, he will fix. He doesn't have an ego like that. Whereas I know some trainers do.
Yeah. Well, he's done well, hasn't he, Shane McGuigan, hasn't he? You got to give him credit.
Yeah, and he's done it quietly, really.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done well. He's done well. Obviously, his dad's helped him and guided him because his dad knows game, doesn't he?
Yeah. But a lot of what Shane does is stuff that he had to figure out himself. So if you look at like Shane's S&C policy, right? A lot of it's shaped by guys like Charles Poliquin, who Barry wouldn't know anything about. And the thing with that is it shows that he's got his own mind about things. Remember, he also boxed as well. He was a half decent amateur himself. So he's got his own views about things. But I think it's always good to have someone like Barry there because they give you that big picture about how the game actually works. And that's what a lot of British trainers don't have. There's a reason why Mark Tibbs stays close to his old man. His old man understands how the whole game fits together.
Oh, yeah. They know, don't they? Oh, Jimmy Tibbs and Barry McGuigan have seen it all, haven't they?
Yeah. And that's what you want in your corner.
They've seen it all. You know, they know when a fighter's focused and when he ain't focused. They know who's a thoroughbred and who isn't. They know who cuts corners and who don't. They're not daft.
And they also know,
the wily old foxes, they spot everything in gym.
That's the key thing. So that they know the little bits of sacrifice that make the difference and whether someone's actually doing those or not. They know. And like I said, it's about feel. You don't necessarily, there's no data for that sort of stuff. It's just feel, Russ.
Yeah, it is. Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Terry. It's been a pleasure.
All right, mate. Remember to remind them not to have nightmares.
All right. Don't have nightmares.
All right, mate. You take care.
So, cheers, mate. Bye.
All right, bye.
Well, I enjoyed that. Nice to have a catch up with Terry. Women love him, men want to be him. Terry the banker from London. That's it. That's all, folks. Don't forget Porky's International YouTube. Have a switch over if you want to see something different. All right. Have a great evening. Pop, pop, bang.